Hello students, let us continue the tests on the large samples, and now today we are going to discuss about the test of significance for difference of means. This is the second type of test that we can apply for large samples. Okay, now let us assume two different populations such that the mean of each of these is given by mu1 and mu2. Okay, so mu1 represents the mean of the first population and mu2 represents the mean of the second population. Also now let us assume that we collect two different samples, one from each of the population, such that the size of the sample collected from first population, let it be n1, and the size of the sample collected from the second population, let it be n2. Okay, so also let us assume sigma 1 is the standard deviation of the first population and sigma 2 is the standard deviation of the second population. All right, so we have collected selected two different populations whose mean is mu1 and mu2, and from each of those two we have collected one sample, and then each sample is of size n1 and n2, different sizes. Okay, and they are having different standard deviations, sigma 1 and sigma 2. All right, now in this particular test, the null hypothesis, that is the base assumption, what it is going to be, H0 we will be using for the representation. H0 is always given by mu1 is equal to mu2. What do you mean by that? The population means, that is the mean of the population 1 is equal to the mean of the population 2. Okay, mean of the population 1 is equal to the mean of the population 2. That is what you are going to test. So this is statement you need to test. All right, so what will be the alternate hypothesis now? That is H1. H1 is the alternate hypothesis. So mu1 not equal to mu2, the contradicting statement. This will be the H1. Understood? So this is how we take the null hypothesis and the alternate hypothesis. Let us see how do we test it. What is the test static here? So here you can see that test statistic given by Z is given by this formula. Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by under root of sigma 1 square sigma 1 square divided by n1 plus sigma 2 square divided by n2. Okay, so this is the formula for Z. By the way, what is Z? Let me just remind you, all the large samples do follow normal distribution, and here Z is supposed to be considered as the standard normal variate. Okay, so now we also have the confidence limits for the difference of means of population. So what are those? How can we find that? Okay, let us see. So the confidence limits can be obtained by using this particular formula. What does it say? The difference between the two sample means, that is x1 bar minus x2 bar plus minus ZC. What do you mean by ZC here? ZC here. ZC is nothing but the critical values of Z. What is ZC? Critical values of Z. So whenever here we are not giving a fixed value here. So that says you should also understand here that under this particular type, the test can be one-tailed or two-tailed depending on H1. That is H1 we just took in the previous slide, mu1 not equal to mu2. This is a two-tailed test. Okay, if it is a one-tailed test, then we have H1 will be mu1 is greater than or equal to mu2, or less than or equal to can also be considered. So in this case In both the cases, it is going to be one tail test. Why one tail? Because you are going to focus only either on left side or the right side. So either on left end or the right end of the normal curve we will be focusing, not on both the sides. So if we are going with mu1 greater than mu2, then we will be focusing towards the right side of the normal curve. In the second case, we will be focusing towards the left side of the normal curve. So that is only one tail we will be focusing towards, hence it will be a one tail test. So depending on whether the test is two-tailed or one-tailed, these ZC values can be selected. And also one more criteria comes to the picture. What is that? Significance levels. Either we go with 0.05 or 0.01, that is 1% or 5% significant levels for one-tailed or two-tailed test. Depending on that, our ZC values will depend, and I have given you these values in my introduction video in a table, so just check that out. Understood? So we will be picking the values from that table and substituting here in the confidence limits for ZC. And the rest of the terms, that is sigma 1 square, sigma 2 square, n1 and n2, you can substitute from the given question. So by substituting and simplifying with the positive and negative signs, you will be getting two values which are given by the which can be considered as the lower and the upper intervals. That's why you call them as confidence limits. Understood? So this is about the confidence limits for the difference of population. Got it? And we have something called a situation where we may not have two different populations. Instead, we may have only single population, and we need to compare and study the data. Thus, compare and study the variables. Okay. So in such case, what we'll do is we consider same population. The population will be having the population will be fixed, whose standard deviation can be considered as just sigma. That means from the same population you would consider two different samples whose size is n1 and n2, and the mean of the population, the sample mean from that same population of the first sample is, let that be x1 bar and x2 bar. Okay. Then in this case you can see sigma is not sigma 1 and sigma 2, it is just sigma. That is, the standard deviation is just 1 because we have one population. That's why. Okay. In such case, our formula gets changed. That is, from these two, this previous formula, look at the denominator, you have sigma 1 square and sigma 2 square. Both will become sigma square and sigma square, which is there under the root. You can take it outside and apply the root. It will just become sigma. Hence, the entire denominator, the numerator will be the same. Then denominator gets simplified, and then the denominator will become sigma into under root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. That is how the formula is going to change, and this happens only when we are considering two different samples of one population. Understood? So the first formula is two populations, so two different samples from two different populations, and the second formula is that can be applied for two different samples from the same population. That is the difference between these two. Understood, guys? So this is the theoretical part for this particular test. Let us go ahead and see a problem further. Okay. Okay, students, now let us see an example to test the significance of difference between the means as a practical problem. Okay, consider this problem. In an elementary school examination, the mean grade of 32 boys, the number of boys is 32 here, 32 boys was 72 with a standard deviation of 8, while the mean grade of 36 girls was 75 here with a standard deviation of 6. test the hypothesis that the performance of girls is better than boys. Here we have to clearly consider a one-tailed test. Why? Performance of girls is better than boys. Only one way we are checking it. We don't have to check both the ways of the curve. Okay, standard curve. So it is a one-tailed test that you should consider. First, that is the major thing. So what is our H naught? H naught is performance of girls is better than boys. What is the alternative? H1, performance of girls is not better than boys. That's what it is. Okay, so one way only, right? Next, anyways, let us tabulate the data. So the mean of the number of girls here first. Well, let us see number of boys and number of girls. Will give you the n values of the samples. So we have 32 boys. So n of b is 32. And how many girls under consideration? 36 girls are there. So n of g is 36. Size of the second sample is 36. And the mean of the first sample is 72. X bar for boys is 72. And standard deviation for boys is 8. Similarly, the mean of the girls is 75. Therefore, X bar for girls is 75 and hence the standard deviation is 6. So, 6. So, substituting all these values in the test static, Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by sigma 1 square divided by square root of sigma 1 square by n1 plus sigma 2 square by n2. Okay. So, we can substitute the values here. Instead of 1 and 2, we have boys and girls. That's it. That makes not much difference. Anyways, substitute all the values here and then simplify and then we get the Z value. So, how much is the Z value that we are getting here? You can see. Please use your calculus appropriately. Don't make any human errors. Okay. Here we are getting the Z values after final simplification. The final Z value is 1.73. And we have the critical values for Z under the one-tailed test under both the levels of significance you are supposed to consider. What are the two standard levels of significance, guys? 5% and 1%. I have already given you the values also in the table. You can go through that. You have to by heart the values because you can see here in the question they have not given the values. So only sometimes they give you the values and sometimes they won't. Okay. So don't take the chance. Please do by heart the values and make sure that appropriately you can apply there. And the one-tailed test standard values are, the critical values are 1.645 under 5% level of significance, that is this one, and 2.33 under 1% level of significance. Okay, so let us compare whatever we have calculated, that Z value. The calculated Z value is 1.73. We see that 1.73 is greater than 1.645. That means Z 0.05 is less than Z calculated. Then, so we say that the hypothesis is accepted under 5% significance level. Okay, now let us see what is Z 0.01. Z 0.01 is 2.33, which is less than 1 which is greater than, I think I have given you the other way around. Yes, Z 0.01 is greater than Z calculated. In the previous case it is less than, and in this case it is greater than. Whenever the critical value is less than the calculated Z value, then only the sample is supposed to be accepted. If the critical value is greater than the Z calculated value, then the sample is supposed to be rejected. Therefore, at 1% level of significance, we are supposed to reject the null hypothesis. Understood? But at 5% level of significance, we are, in this particular case, we can accept the null hypothesis. So, how do you conclude here? What does our null hypothesis say? The null hypothesis says that the performance of girls is better than boys. That is, the performance of girls is better than boys and the examination is accepted, that is significant at 5% level, but it is not significant. That means it is rejected at 1% level. Understood? Similarly, let us see one more problem, one more example here. The question says, a random sample of 1000 workers in company has mean wages of 50 rupees per day and standard deviation 15 rupees. Another sample, 1500 workers from another company has mean wages of 45 rupees per day and the standard deviation is rupees 20. Okay, does the mean rate of wages varies between the two companies? Why I have selected this example, I'll tell you. In this case, we cannot use one-tail test. They are asking you to check, does the mean wages vary between the two companies? Is company 1 better than 2 or company 2 better than 1? They are not asking that one particular direction. Instead, you have to check whether company 1 is paying better wages or company 2 is paying the better wages. So it is both the sides, the curve is open, hence we say that it is going to be a two-tailed test. Okay, so it is a two-tailed test. That's the reason I have selected this example. Now let me complete the question. You have another part of it, not only checking for the z value and giving the inference whether the hypothesis is rejected or accepted. We also have something else here. What is that? Find the 95% confidence limits for the difference of means of wages of the population of the two companies. You have to find 95% on confidence limits as well. Okay, first let us see according to the given question. Let us tabulate the data. The mean of the first company. First of all, the sample size first company is 1000. The sample size of the second one from the second company is 1500, and the mean wages for the first company is 50 and that of the second company is 45 per day. So here, and then the standard deviation for the first company is 15 and that for the second company is 20. So this is the data that we have, and applying the same formula, that is the z is x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by sigma under root of sigma 1 squared by n1 plus sigma 2 squared by n2. Okay, and then substituting all the values whatever we have from the data and simplifying further, we get z is equals to 7.1307, which is such a huge value. And we have the critical values for the two-tailed test. These are the two-tailed test critical values, guys. At 5% level of significance, it is 1.96 and 2.58. But we have z 0.05 is less than z calculated, and similarly z 0.01 is also less than z calculated. Okay, so in both the cases it's the less than critical values. Hence what we can say, the difference between the mean wages is perfectly significant at both the levels of significance. Okay, that means it is accepted. In both the cases it is less than. Whenever we have the critical values greater than, then we don't take it. Okay, anyways, in this case, what is the inference? Hence we say that the difference between the mean wages is significant both at 5% level and 1% level of significance. Okay, and we have the second part of the problem, that is to find the 95% confidence limits. So let us apply the formula. Difference between the two means plus minus ZC. 95% is nothing but 5% level of significance critical values you should take, that is 1.96, and then substitute the values of sigma and then n1 and n2, sigma 1, sigma 2, n1 and n2 in the formula. Simplify, we are getting here the difference is 5. So 5 plus minus 1.374. So what are the limits here? 3.626 and 6.376 are the confidence limits. So thus we can say with 95 confidence levels, the 95% confidence, that we can say that the difference of the population mean of wages between the two companies lies between 3.63 and 6.37. Understood? So this is how you can calculate the confidence limits as well for the given data. So these are the this is how the test of difference between the means can be applied for the given data when we have two different populations. Understood?